So, we're here at the Pimax Roadshow event in London. I'm here with etee. I don't know anything about etee, but I'm excited to know what it's about because it looks like controllers.
Yes.
And personally, I feel that, to be honest, controllers seem to be a sort of they're like not developed or looked at as much as other aspects like resolution and whatnot. So this might be really exciting. I guess it is. So why don't you let us know what's going on here? We move this Pimax crystal.
Let me put it over here. Yeah, so we are a London-based company. We mainly do sensing technology, and one of the things that we've been developing is a virtual reality controller for finger tracking. So let me, put this back here. Sorry, that's a bit awkward.
USB-C charging dock for it.
Yes, exactly. So as you can see,
it's better than the PSVR 2 charging dock. Don't worry about it.
Thanks. Pimax really kindly introduced us to the event, and obviously as a VR hardware manufacturer too, we were really interested to come and meet more people. What we developed is a finger tracking controller where you can, if you play the video, Sam, you can see on the right side that is the pressure level for each individual finger.
For each finger?
Yes, exactly. So it's a little bit different from other controllers in the market. Obviously, there's a lot of finger tracking, but we specialize in the pressure levels.
Yeah, I can see. And is that supported in a lot of games natively with the finger?
Yes.
But most of the time it's sort of in game, it's like a bit binary when you see it. But this will actually, I'm excited then.
Yeah, so we can actually show you perhaps if we open Steam VR really quickly. You will see that it's integrated within the Steam VR platform. We have a driver that we develop, and you can see that analog value for each of the fingers. So I think we need to turn on, let's see, this controller here.
I'm excited for this. I feel like there's crazy, or it feels like it should just be a standard when it comes to being immersed in a game where you're interacting with things and picking things up.
But I guess a lot of the other companies, what they were looking into is mainly grip pressure and strength. But we wanted to give a little bit more the ability to look at individual finger pressures, because then you can create different gestures. You could potentially do this gesture for a specific thing, maybe not that one, it's a bit difficult to do. Or for example, something that we do is you can teleport just by doing the pointing gesture and then pressing.
There's so many different things you can do when you've got the fundamental input there.
And I think as many other VR gamers, they also create bindings, right? So they can create any bindings they want with our different
things we can't even think of now. They may come up with.
Yeah, so let us show you really quickly.
They look really nice as well, which I think is really important.
Thank you. Yeah, look, we were really focusing on the look. So basically, our founder graduated from the Royal College of Arts.
Oh,
so industrial design background, the other founder electronics and CS background. So yeah, they were really focused on that. So as you can see here, let me put it pointing maybe to the camera a little bit more, and let me close this video if that's okay. So we can point mainly at here. So this is the Steam VR interface, which I think a lot of us know by heart. You can see that each individual pressure is sent to the panel there. Yeah. So when you open your own bindings, it's really easy to just...
it's an axis.
It's an axis, exactly. And, well, actually, each finger is not an axis, it's a force value, which means, yes, exactly, it's pressure-based. So that's what, for example, other controllers do for the grip. Yeah. The grip is a pressure value, so not just only one bar. You can see two different bars. So one, the pull bar, for example, would be your curling, so how much you're curling the finger. As you can see, I'm close, and now that pressure is the extra force that I'm putting on the controller itself.
So is the pull is that a travel and then the force is like a load, or is it?
Yes,
so
that's
two different- okay, fine.
exactly it. Obviously, we also wanted to make it a little bit easier for our users. So something that Sam, myself, and other people in the team were working on too is creating gestures, inbuilt gestures for you. Obviously, we have the grab that is really like standard for
So that
most.
becomes a binding.
Yeah.
To basically, to supplement for the lack of like buttons, because it's a more or less buttonless controller. Having these gestures helps fill in for those bindings,
Yeah.
especially for a lot of games where like you need those bindings.
Yeah.
Having just singular pulls doesn't always work.
Can you do you infer gestures? Like if you can feel pressure on these but not on this, you infer that.
Yeah, so we can infer point.
Yeah.
So you can see, thank you. So that's a really good question. So if you look at this one here, you can infer when I'm pointing.
Is that because is your finger being sensed on the outside, or is it just because it's not being sensed on the pressure on the?
It's because because my index is not being sensed, but all these other three fingers are.
Yeah.
Something else that we also have is trackpad, pinch. So, for example, for a lot of like FPS games, what we have is you can use this value here, which is the pinch, to trigger as a trigger.
Yeah.
And it's an analog. In this one, it's mainly binary, but like for other options like the index, if you want to just use the index finger, not the thumb, as a safety input,
okay.
then you can just do the finger like
it.
this.
Yeah.
Apart from that, we have some, let's say, hidden controls, such as the trackpad here. So you can still move with locomotion, or you can choose to move with the pointing gesture. That's up to the user. And also, we have extra buttons here in the LED inbuilt to scroll up and down menus.
Nice.
So yeah, I think a lot of what we were working around in the team is trying to get an immersive experience, but also create a modular system that can really easily integrate into their ecosystem.
Yeah.
So maybe Sam here can show you. Here we have our Steam VR bundle. So the Steam VR bundle consists of the controller itself, but also the tracker. Sam, could you try to disconnect the tracker in this case? So that comes out, and this unit here is what does all the tracking. So this works with the lighthouses, the external base stations, and it tracks obviously the motion and rotation. If you were to have a Vive tracker, you can just upgrade with this device.
Okay.
So if you could hold this for a second.
So it's modular for the tracking system.
So this is the wrong hand here. Oh, sorry, thank you. Let me show you. So this is the right hand one. So as you can see, what I need to do is just to put my Vive tracker here. It's the normal connection with the screw. And then you would just pop it in. And then you have your Vive tracker, but with all the finger sensing.
Yes.
So this is very valuable for our VR chat users, where they already have trackers. They don't want to spend a lot of money on buying new controllers with finger sensing, so they directly just buy the controllers itself and use their trackers.
Nice.
So yeah, is there anything you would?
No, I'm just. Yeah, I think. Oh, sorry. I think a large majority of our customer base has been people who on things such as VR chat. So having these kind of controllers where it's quite lightweight compared to the current ones on the market, it seems to appeal a lot more.
And is that because when people are interacting, they can have?
Yeah, so it's a lot less intrusive in terms of having a big bulking controller on you. It's quite lightweight. It feels quite nice to be able to individually control each finger compared to some controllers which have kind of bulk buttons which just hold the fingers. I think a lot of users seem to prefer having that kind of availability.
Are there, so to integrate this is natively integrated anyway. Is there can developers use this and do anything else sort of custom that you hope that we think could be exciting?
Yes, so we have everything integrated now with SteamVR. So if anyone wants to create a new game, they could directly pull the data from either the Unity SteamVR plugins or the Unreal SteamVR plugins. Apart from that, we do have also APIs. So we understand that a lot of people maybe are not looking yet into buying all the lighthouse systems, and they just want finger tracking.
Yeah.
They don't care about the rotation of the hands. So something that we provide is you just buy the controllers itself without the tracking system, and then you can still pull data from the fingers. So something we've been doing recently, Sam actually created the rehabilitation game with the University of South Wales. So the idea is you don't need a big setup. You just go to a room in a hospital, for example. You turn on the controllers, your PC, and there's a game that trains the grip force for stroke survivors or also individual finger dexterity. And I think that's something that maybe, Sam, if you wanted to add more.
I mean, as Pilar said, it's a quite useful application for a lot of these stroke mainly survivors who are like trying to rehabilitate, getting their pressure back on those fingers. It runs a similar way to like Beat Saber in a way where it's like you're kind of matching these gestures and putting different pressure in.
When you're at the right pressure.
Yeah, and then it's allowing people to have a bit more ease at learning that rather than having to do this repetitive gestures and stuff.
And also other applications, I guess, where in the real world pressure is important, and because it's very accurate, it looks like, so you can, when you've got that sort of pressure. With like the APIs and stuff we have, people can make web applications to basically try whatever uses they can think of for having these like finger like pressures. There's probably a lot of industrial ways of implementing it as well. For like, I think we've got cranes and drones you can use it for as well.
You can see. So I guess one of the best things about startup is that you can try a lot of ideas. So something that we were looking at is exactly what you asked, which is the APIs. What can you do with it? Apart from obviously the obvious VR user cases, well, you can just use it as a normal controller for other things. We had a famous artist working with ET that he just took the data of each of the fingers apart from the accelerometer and gyroscope data, so the motion, and he was using that as an instrument. So he was making it a MIDI controller. And we had this Python API that they could use.
So I guess you can have you got the travel, but then the force can add a different layer onto the tone or something.
So you will control the pitch or like another instrument. You can set up different instruments and their pitches to each of the fingers. We are actually really interested in seeing what more applications the community can come with. So
it's a very interesting product. I like how it's designed in a way that you actually wouldn't know what it is if you just looked at it, I think. Which makes it a bit more mysterious and sort of. I like that the design has had that thought about it. That you need to know what it is and learn about it, and it feels like you're uncovering something.
I think a lot of what the company moves around is that magical experience of technology is there, but you don't have like all. You don't see it. It's like it magically works. So a lot of other things that we were doing as a company is that, like, if you need a sensing surface that is more hidden. So, for example, not only in controllers, but if you have any other control interface in a car or something that is under a panel that you don't see and it only lights up when you touch it, that we work on. This is our first business-to-consumer product, and I think also getting the collaboration that we have now with Pimax has been really important to help us put ourselves out there.
So in terms of that collaboration, is that bundling or is it available on the store, or how is that? How can people get their hands, excuse the pun?
So I think we are early stages yet, but for now we are working on seeing if we can integrate it into their systems. So obviously a lot of our system architecture revolves around the external base stations. Obviously they have their lighthouse faceplates that you can use if you want to use the lighthouses around the room, but it would be interesting to move into inside-out tracking, and that's something that as a VR controller company you cannot do unless you are able to talk with the headset manufacturer. So yeah, really
So
excited
potentially in
about
the
that.
future, we could see something like this bundle with inside out, and then
Fingers
it's
crossed.
just a
That would
hold
be
it and do
great.
it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow, and it just looks very stylish as well. So
Yeah.
that's been really interesting to hear about. So I guess is it ET? What's the website people can go to?
The website is eteeXR.com.
Yeah. Phone
So
home.
yeah,
Yeah. Very nice.
ET with
got
ETEE.
it.
So yeah, you've got it here like with two T's.
Yeah.
Sorry, two E's at the end. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome.
Thank you.
Well, thanks for letting us know, and I'm really interested to see what kind of crazy applications there's going to be around this.
Thank you so much. Thanks. Pleasure.